You know, it's pretty common that a third party controller will often be either as good or even better than an OEM controller because they've had time to improve upon it. And today is no different. And when I say that Retro Fighters has done it again with the Mantis controller, I mean it. Hey, what's up everyone? Game Dad here, and I am taking a look at the Retro Fighters Mantis controller for PC and the PS4. That's why it's got that nice PS4 look to it. And I gotta say, like, Retro Fighters just keeps putting out such amazing products. But I want to give a disclaimer right here at the beginning that they did send me this controller to review and share my thoughts with all of you, but all opinions are my own, as with all of my reviews. Now, let's get into the pros and cons of the Retro Fighters Mantis controller. Now, as with every single Retro Fighters controller that I have ever put hands on or used or played a game with, this looks and feels premium. It has such a nice ergonomic feel in the hands. It's got a very nice and yet subtle grip to the back of it. So there is a little bit of pattern there for you to be able to grip onto. That way it's not slipping around in your hands or anything. And it's got very nice dual Hall effect sticks right here. So they feel incredibly smooth. They feel very nice to use, and they are very, very responsive. Now, something with a lot of third-party controllers that I have a big issue with is actually the D-pad. And even on some of Retro Fighter's own controllers, I haven't been the biggest fan of the D-pad. But on this one, I gotta say, it feels really nice. Now, visually, it has sharp corners around it, but whenever you are using the D-pad, they are not sharp corners at all. They feel very nice under the thumb. They have a nice tactile feedback to them, and it just operates very nicely. This is a solid choice for a D-pad to go into one of their controllers. Now, most of the time, having bigger hands, I am much more attuned to a larger controller, and that's kind of what I prefer, bigger, heavier controllers. But this has a very nice weight to it, and honestly, it actually has a mini design, but that mini design fits perfectly right into the palm of my hand. So it doesn't feel like a DualShock 4 that kind of presses more down on the heel of my palm. These fit right perfectly where I need them to go, and the controller just feels nice. My hands are in a very relaxed position whenever I am using this, and it's awesome. It is a solid feel in the hands. Now, as with most third-party controller manufacturers, Retro Fighters is no different in the fact that they like to add customization options to the controllers. And with that respect, they have nice little programmable back buttons on here. And I gotta say, they don't interfere with using the controller. My middle finger's right here, they sit nicely on the back, but I can easily adjust them over to get those grip buttons right there. And it feels very nice and very natural in the hand. Now, in addition to the awesome Hall effect sticks, the very nice feeling triggers and bumper buttons, the nice programmable buttons on the back, that excellent D-pad, the face buttons feel very nice. They have a solid tactile response. I want to say that they are membrane, but I haven't taken them apart the controller to really see, but they have a bit of a responsive kind of membrane feel to them. They aren't clicking like they're a tactile button or anything like that, and honestly, I kind of prefer that. So that's very nice. And then the other thing, because it is a PS4 controller as well, is the touchpad sensor. And on this, it is very precise, very responsive, and it has a nice solid click to it. It doesn't feel like there are any kind of pressure sensitive areas where it might not press as well in one area. I can push anywhere on this pad and it feels great. But now onto the cons of the controller, and we'll start where we left off with that touchpad. Now, it's precise, it's very responsive, and it clicks very nicely. It's a little bit small for my taste though. I would say it's probably about 60% the size of the actual DualShock 4 touchpad. So it is definitely small. I mean, if you look right here, it's about the size of my thumb, honestly. Like my thumb can fit right on it like a thumbprint pad. But it looks like they could have stretched it out, given it a little bit more room to make it at least maybe, like 10% bigger. And then it probably wouldn't have been as noticeable. But I will say it is a fairly small touchpad on there, but it still gets the job done. And honestly, I don't really know of a ton of games that really actively use any kind of precision mouse control with that pad. They just use it more as a button to press. And in that regard, it's the biggest button on the controller. But My other con comes with some of that customization that they offer. Now, a lot of third-party controllers, when you have your triggers going down like this, they'll give you trigger locks to shorten the distance, especially for things like shooters and stuff like that. My complaint though is with those trigger locks. Now, I was trying to look at this and measure how far this is going down whenever I pull a trigger versus when I put on the actual trigger lock and then push it down. I see barely any difference. I just, my con about this is I don't understand the point of them because it doesn't really feel like it's actually doing anything. I mean, feel wise, I might be getting a little bit more out of the trigger, but honestly, it is not much. I've used other controllers where you put those on and it makes it to where you can actually like barely press it. You get maybe about a quarter of the press out of it when you activate a trigger lock. Now, I never really used that feature personally, but it's something that's on the controller, so something that I wanted to talk about and give my opinion on. And my opinion is, I don't really see the point in adding these. I don't see the added value to them on a controller like this. Now, if it was some sort of super high-end like pro controller kind of thing, like I think on PS4, since it didn't have a real pro controller, they had the Scuff Gaming one, something like that that really like takes things like this and for shooters and everything really into account, I think it would probably make a bigger difference there. But I see this as more of a general purpose play any game you want kind of controller. So with that regard, I really don't see the point of the trigger locks on it. But I mean, those are my only cons. As with pretty much every Retro Fighters product that I've ever looked at, it's a nice controller. It fits nicely in the hand. It feels premium. It doesn't feel like cheap and lightweight. It's got some nice, decent weight to it. And it has multi-platform support. Granted, this one is advertised as PS4 and PC. I don't know if you could use it on anything else. I mean, if it's Bluetooth, I guess technically anything with Bluetooth could work with it in theory, but the officially supported options are the PC and the PS4. But overall, yeah, I really like this controller. So, would I recommend the Retro Fighters Mantis controller? Yes, I absolutely would. It is a premium product, just like everything that Retro Fighters offers. And no, I don't get any kind of kickback or anything like that. The most that I get is maybe they'll share a post about this video, and they send me controllers from time to time. That way I can check them out and share my thoughts with all of you. And I would recommend this. They always have really great prices. Anytime there's a big holiday, they have sales going on. So definitely check out the Retro Fighters website at retrofighters.com. They're all over social media. They have controllers for every platform you could imagine or want a controller for. And they work. And they do a great job at it. Now, if you like this video, let me know down in the comments below. Maybe you have a Mantis controller and you've gotten it to work on other platforms other than the advertised ones. I'd love to hear about that. But if you want to see another video like this one, then go ahead and check out this area right here. And as always, I'm Game Dad. I thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you later.